G'day, welcome back to the channel. So, it's been a couple of months, like 3 since I posted anything. Pretty bad, I know, sorry about that. But we've just had no racing. I've only got a couple little mods to do to the car. It's been raining. So this lovely gazebo behind me I parked under, I don't know, a month or so ago. I've had a metre of rain since then pretty much, and it doesn't look as good as it once did. So that's no longer in the question, but it still gives a bit of shade at this end at least. So we're eventually going to catch up. We're going to get our little brake booster pump fitted, and we're going to try and get the power steering pump fitted before the next round. So next round is in a week. So, you know, leave things till last minute. It only stopped raining yesterday. So the ground is absolutely soaked. It's just the way it is. So I'll show you what we got. And so we have our lovely little electric brake vacuum booster. Grab some silicon vacuum hose. Got a couple of NRVs, non-return valves, however you want to NRV, yeah, and a little T-piece. So the idea is we're just gonna jump in line over here somewhere. I'll replace this whole vacuum hose because it's huge. It doesn't need to be that size. We'll go to a smaller one, this one. We'll chuck him on, and with that I'll put a T-piece in somewhere. I'll chuck one of those NRVs in here, so that way when, not in the fuel line, in here, that way when this is on, it's not trying to suck vacuum out of the intake manifold. And then I also need to chuck one into the line to the pump, wherever I put it, so that way this doesn't suck through the pump. So that's why we have 2 of those little babies. Righto, that's enough the apron. Let's do my little intro and we'll start working. So I just ripped off the air filter and pull off the vacuum line. I think I might need to replace the T-piece up there. Oh yeah. Oh, what are we looking for? What size is that? It's Imperial, isn't it? I don't do Imperial. 516. Yeah, 516. I'm a bit out of the run of recording stuff because I just haven't been doing anything of interest. So starting from this weekend, we've got 1 meeting a month pretty much, apart from July. July is pretty full on. So July, first weekend, Dobberson's King of the Strip down at Willowbank, 4-wheel drive drags. And then following that, we then come back up here the next weekend, race at the local track for a local round. Then we have 2 weekends off, and we're back racing the local 4-wheel drive drags. So this is going to be one heck of a fun time, I tell you. Okay, that goes on there nicely. Just need to make that one smaller because it was huge. Where are we at here? Oh yeah, that'll undo. So I haven't started this car for probably, it'd be over a month now since it's been started. So there should be no fuel in the fuel runs. Oh, there's not, so that's a bonus. Let that back off for a second. Just getting that out of the road. I need to get to this other vacuum port back here. Hopefully it'll undo without me having to take the carby off. Nope. Not yet. Stay. Yeah, I'm going to have to go buy a smaller one of these. Yep. Okay, it's spinning. That's a start. Okay. Well, So I'm going to have to put another relay on. It's going to have to go off the brake switch. Okay, that's off. Definitely way too big. Alright, that's on my list of things to replace. Alright, so this hose has to run from here. So this way. Through here to there to here. Okay. Oh no, that leaves me heaps. That's good. I was worried I wasn't going to have enough. Alrighty. I'm really unprepared for this. Need some scissors. Yeah, that'll work out alright. Alright, so this is our limiting factor with how far from here we can put the pump. So I'm thinking the pump's going to go down here somewhere. Just a little bit forward, but not too far, because I've still got to run my electrics. It's going to run off the brake pedal to flip the relay and make a bracket to mount this on. And I'm thinking somewhere down here is going to be, let me get you down. Yeah, somewhere down here is going to be ideal location. So I just got to make a bracket here and maybe here. Maybe we can do a top bracket and a bottom bracket and mount that sucker like so. And that way I can just run the hose through, hook him up here, and electrics and all can be just sort of somewhat hidden behind everything. So ultimately inside would be better, wouldn't it? Can't do it like that. I could sit it like that. We mount off that one that way, this little angle bracket, and then make something here. That way I've got a factory bolt and a factory bolt hole. That might work, hey? Alright, let me see what I've got that I can fabricate some random bracket out of this with. Alright, I'll be back with this shortly. Righto, welcome back next morning. So, last night I made a couple of brackets. It's a bit dark, couldn't see, so it's just a simple little bit of alloy there. Another one off there, just a couple of factory bolt holes. I'll just plumb this around to go in there like so. I still have to fit this lovely NRV into here. And let me start working on this power steering. So this just a little loop I put in the power steering, just that way the fluid will stay within the pump. Well, the power steering box. I think I want to mount it over there. It's going to be an interesting one. But I reckon we've got 2 hours of shade and I may need to reverse it back. But for now, I don't have anything in the that hole yet. So we don't have any vacuum to the brakes, so I can't even test to see if they're going to work with what I've done. Alright, we'll chuck this one in. I'll work on wiring this in later. I was going to do a brake switch, but I'm like, you know what? It'd be good to have these running all the time, whenever I turn the car on. So I'll probably just run it off an accessory loop that I've put in already. And then that power steering, I'll probably put a relay in up here and just accessory circuit on, bring on the relay, power steering pump on. Pretty simple. And that way it's only a nice short wire from the positive across. Alright, let me figure out how I'm going to mount this sucker first, I guess. What I do need to buy, I need to buy some more of this plastic shielding, because I can see this rubbing on here and wearing a hole in it and me losing brakes otherwise. So I'll put some around this back one. Probably should put some around all my wiring on my relay. Don't use that one, put some around that one. And then definitely needs to be that one, and probably the back one over there too, because they've got wiring that goes through them too. Alright, well I do have to go to Bunnings soon, but I think I might have to go to Super Cheap or somewhere and see if they've got the right adapter-rooney for that. Alrighty. Yeah. This first. Alright, let's get started. I'm thinking this one's fuel pump relay, 30 amp circuit, got a huge positive on it. That should be more than capable to run the fuel pump and the vacuum brake booster thingy. So we'll try it, and if we lose any form of fuel pressure, then I'll rewire it. So for that, I have this lovely little cable I've just put together, and then straight to existing ground down here, and then to the back of the relay on the positive. So bear with me while I put some terminals on and get this together, and we'll... Okay, so I got rid of the connector, just got some joiners in here. Okay, so for now, hook the ground up, relay's on and powered. So if I touch this on this back one, oh, there's a noisy little sucker. I know it's running. I don't know, what can you see from in here? Let's see if I can set you up for a second, and we'll see if we're creating vacuum, if I've got everything hooked up around the right way or not. How can we set you up? You now have to listen to this thing make some sounds. Oh, that definitely had vacuum. Did you hear it? Oh, we got good vacuum. That's awesome. How good's that? Alright, so next one is to see, I'm going to have to hook this fuel line back up first. This is the one over here. Let's get this fuel system hooked back up, and then we can work on everything else. I'm going to have the correct tools for these, and I have it right here. See? Perfect. One shifter. Get that sucker up. Get that sucker up. You can see. Alright, over here. I was saying, do I make it 2 to 1? So it's just a 1 here, not 2 wires going into it. I think that way at least I can heat shrink them all up and make sure nothing's going to touch something that shouldn't be. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, another wasp. They're coming at me everywhere. Alright, so that's wired up. They're all in. I've whacked the fitting back on there, and oh, come around the other side, I'll show you. Fittings on there, and I've just put that little kinked over bit of hose on it. I'll take you out of there before I forget about it and drop it on the ground. Alright, let's do a true cold start, eh? This has not been started for probably a month, maybe a bit longer. So I'll turn the key on, you'll hear my little pump whirligig thing here making some sounds. We'll check for fuel leaks and see if it starts. What brake pedal I got, because I've never really had a great brake. Right. No, down she goes. Well, there's no fuel leaks yet. It's a good start. Yep, no, she's good. that's the other numbers I've got. Alright, let's check this brake pedal. Oh, that's interesting. Feels like there's brake pedal. Feels like there's a lot of brake pedal actually. I don't really want to drive anyway because there's stuff all over it. Now we've got the clothesline in the road. Back of the car's still full of all the gear for the drags. Yeah, let it warm up for a second. We'll come up with a plan. Give it a couple of revs, see what that does. Fuel pressure's down for a little bit. See that fuel pressure. Okay, what have we done? That is hot. Okay, it's too much power. Okay, definitely can't run them both off the one because that is now hot. That's not ideal. Okay, that's not going to happen. I dare say we may have blown a fuse on the accessory circuit with how hot that is. Alright, let's try again. So onto the fort well here. See that lovely red light? That's the fuse that is blue. Ugh, how do I get this off now? I don't even know how it goes on or off. So yeah, I guess that's what we need to replace that first and foremost. But that's why we've got fuses, it protects our wiring. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Yeah, okay, that melted in there. That's less than ideal. And that was only a 7.5 amp fuse. Must have been drawing some current for it to melt that though, and not. That's odd that it didn't blow it. All right, okay, time to up our game a little, I guess. Alrighty. Are you gonna come out? Oh, you're gonna come out, that's good. That's a very little fuse I put in that circuit. Why would I only do a 7.5 amp fuse in there? It's tiny. Maybe that's all I had. That should be at least a 15 amp in that. Do I try again with the 15? The relay was getting hot though. Obviously that wasn't putting through the power it needed. But the relay shouldn't get that hot. I think I need to just separate it and play it safe. I think that would be the ideal situation. Alright, let's do that. Righto, so we got the wiring pretty well done. I've rewired a new positive across to the relay for the brake vacuum booster. The power steering, I've got to just tape this up for the interim. But I've got a couple little brackets here and here. They're stuck there for the moment, and we'll head over to Sam's, and he's gonna weld them all on for me, as well as the main bracket. He's going to weld it all in situ. I've got the hoses made, I've got all the wiring made to go to the battery. This is the one that turns on and off, so let's pump. Yeah, so we've got a 80 amp Yeah, 80 amp fuse in that one. The two positives, and then that there is the black and the blue wires together, which apparently make it turn on. You don't use the brown one. Alright, so once Sam gets home from work, because you know some people have to work, I'm still on time off, we're going to head over, weld that in, we'll come home, we'll plumb it all back together. So I've just put the loop back in here again just for now. That's just so it doesn't spurt fluid everywhere. And I think we're good. Just got to chuck this back in the back of the car, rip the clothesline down, and head off. Alright, I'll see you at Sam's when we're welding this sucker in.
Oh, this thing's hard to see through. You can let it go now?
Yep. Yeah, look, square with the edge of the chassis rail.
Yeah, I've only tacked it, so if you need to make any changes now,
That's nice. Let's have a look.
I've missed this. I cannot.
Righto, it's all wired up. Let's see if I've done something wrong.
Ready?
Yep. It's running. No, it's not running. Nothing.
Is there a fuse we can pull out of this? Just to stop this?
Yeah, that yellow one.
That one?
Yep.
And we can hear. Going on again?
Yeah, go for it. Nothing. Pull that the front one. Oh, here we go. It's winding up. Oh, she just sucked it empty. Did you hear it winding up?
I heard it go sound like it was cavitating, so I turned it off.
Yeah, just leave it on and we'll just let it.
No, you don't want to run these dry.
No, but that'll do.
Well, it's going to suck it through though.
Yeah, but I can top it up as it's running now. Now we know we've got to wait for it to run.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, I forgot they got to wind up. Yeah.
For the first time? Or
No, it's always. So if you're running it through an ECU, if you have the two wires, yeah, it's still full. You can see the fluid moving in there now. No, there's heaps of fluid. I don't need to put any more in there.
I'm just getting ready in case you don't want to run these pumps dry. They're fucking. There you go. It's built pressure.
Check the leak. I'm not seeing anything dripping on the ground other than what I already spilt. Don't see any coming down here anyway. That's always a good start. Yeah, really good start. I'll put a light in there, it might help. Yeah, there's nothing dripping there.
No. Nothing there.
Nothing dripping anywhere.
The fact that it built pressure means it's not leaking. You know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't build pressure if it was leaking.
Very good. Oh yeah, it's got plenty of fluid in it. I don't need to put any more than that in there. Okay, so we're back. I don't know, this is like day 4 now, I think. Power steering pump. Works a treat, but it's light now. It's so heavy before it feels so light. Vacuum pump we're having issues with. I don't know if I've got... I think it's just the brakes in general. I think I might need to replace the discs and pads and stuff that might bring it around. But being on all the time, just on the power circuit, yeah, I don't think it was working well. So I've put it on, so when you put your brake on now, pump turns on. But when I was at Sam's place when we were welding the bracket on for the power steering pump, he's like, maybe this is upside down because it was getting really hot. So I don't know if any of you know any different, and I've now done this backwards when you need to fix it. I'm now mounting this up the other way, so this is back up. Well, maybe this is the top. Previously I had it mounted upside down, if you remember slightly earlier in the video. So that's what I'm currently doing. So when you put the brake pedal on, triggers, and that doesn't matter when it's on, it does have a slight hissing sound. I don't know if it's just because I haven't got a hose clamp on there or what it is, but yeah, that's another issue. But for now, I'm gonna get this bolted back up, make a new bracket for here because my original bracket is no longer big enough. Unless I do one this way and give it a twist. I think I'd rather come down and out like I did on the last one. Well, the last one went in, but this one will go out, yeah, because it won't rotate in. So, should be like so. And that should work just fine, I hope. Alright, let's chuck you back on a time lapse. Watch what happens. Righto, so mount's all done, all back together. Yeah, so I'll stand on the brake so you can hear it go. So, I don't know. Can't hear my little leak I was hearing up here yesterday. So, I don't know, we'll just run with that and see what happens, eh? Alright, so that's us. We're done. Now, I've just got to get everything ready and off to the drags in a couple of days. First round for the year. About time I started doing something. It's been a pretty slow start to the year for my channel. I'm sorry about this, fellettes, but it's just, you got nothing to put out. I don't know. I could put fluffy stuff out. I could tint the windows. I could do. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see random, minuscule works like so happening on the Troopy as filler videos. I'll keep doing them. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon when I'm sitting in the driver's seat, cruising out to the drags.